Unlike many male lions who only form pairs, Notch surprisingly formed an alliance with his own cubs, a rarity in the wild. Together with his 5 sons Scarface, Marani, Hunter, Scipio and Notch Jr., he formed one of the most powerful male lion alliances ever recorded in the Masai Mara. One of Notch's most fierce battles occurred on the southern border of the Masai Mara, where a coalition of 3 young lions from Talik entered the area with the ambition of expanding their territory. Notch, with his precise bites and teeth that had ended many lives, quickly felled one of the 3 invaders. The other 2, realizing their overwhelming superiority, fled toward the edge of the forest. The moment was not simply an image of violence, but a living testament to the spirit of existence, a warrior who lived by experience, by legacy, and by respect. In the end, he passed away quietly. There was no final battle, no decisive bite. Notch breathed his last breath in the wild, as a true king should. Unmistakable, it is the roar of Scarface, the lion with the famous scar. In the heart of the Kenyan wilderness, where life and death intertwine at every moment, Scarface emerges as a timeless icon. Born in 2007, he is the son of Notch, the legendary leader of the Masai Mara. Along with his brothers Marani, Scipio, Hunter and Notch Jr., Scarface is a member of the Notch Alliance, one of the rare alliances of male lions with a complete blood relationship, recognized as one of the strongest and most cohesive groups of lions that have ever existed in the Masai Mara. Unlike many other male alliances formed by unrelated individuals, the Notch Alliance is a true family. Father and son fight side by side, patrol the territory, protect the female pride, and pass on their bloodline through the generations. When Notch began to age and step down as leader, Scarface and his 3 brothers inherited the power, taking over vast territories, including the Marsh Pride, the world-famous pride. Scarface was not a natural-born king. Like all male lions, he began life with the harsh challenge of survival. Together with his brothers, Scarface soon demonstrated excellent instincts and extraordinary strength. On a dry afternoon in 2012, under a blood-red sunset, an unfamiliar male alliance crossed the border of Scarface's territory with the ambition to seize power. The roars were like thunder, the grass shook, the air was as tense as a bowstring. Then the battle broke out in the dust. Lightning strikes, claws tore through the air. At a crucial moment, a claw from the opponent tore off Scarface's right eye. Blood poured down his face, but he did not retreat. Scarface roared, counter-attacking fiercely. His opponent fell. The invader fled. The wound, a scar running from eye to cheek, not only gave Scarface his legendary name, but also became an unyielding symbol of strength. From that day on, he was no longer a lion. He was Scarface. The survivor, the one who overcame death to become the living symbol of an entire generation. For nearly a decade after that, Scarface and his alliance controlled a territory of 400 kilometers, a rare range in the world of wild lions. Under the leadership of the four, the marsh pride lived in stability. The ecosystem of the area maintained a precious natural balance. Scarface is more than just a warrior. He is a guardian of his pride, a father to generations of lion cubs. His thick black mane, calm gait and piercing gaze make any challenger wary. The generations of descendants born under Scarface's reign carry the dominant blood and genes, strength, adaptability and genetic stability. For conservationists, he is a living treasure. But time spares no ruler. By 2020, Scarface has become thin, slow, almost blind in one eye, and his body is covered with old and new scars. He moves less, often lying for hours under the shade of a tree, gazing out over the savannah as if reminiscing about his glory days. Although the alliance has fallen apart, Scarface has survived as a lone warrior, undefeated, undefeated. His presence remains an invisible force. Young lions sense the aura of a legend and often avoid collision. Not because it is still strong, but because it was once great. On June 11th, 2021, Scarface passed away peacefully. No wounds, no enemies. He left in the middle of the grasslands, which used to be his kingdom. No need for a tragic ending, just his lingering presence was enough for a legend.